So, I'm Tracy Gobin. I'm a single mother of one. She's 14 years old. And I'm a social media influencer. The whole concept between what I'm trying to influence people and help people is to help people wise up and rise up above narcissistic abuse. Fuck. Of, well, I don't know. You know what's so crazy? I feel like it's a common thing. It's bad to say, but I feel like it's a common thing that a lot of kids are witnessing abuse in, with family members, whether it be with their parents, whether it be abuse that they're witnessing through auntie, uncles, aunts, cousins. Like kids are constantly seeing abuse. Like if it's something normal now, right? So yes, the answer to that is yes. I believe that my dad was a narcissist to my mom. So I witnessed my mom getting abused like every day, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like that was my life, being in an abusive home. And then when they decided to break up, it's like, no matter where I ran, it's like I still seen abuse, right? Within my household. When my mom and my dad broke up, it's like I still seen my mom getting abused, mentally and emotionally from different men that she would date or talk to, or I would get abused from my brother, of us arguing because of just the toxicity of our household. And so yeah, my whole life I was around abuse. No. That was I feel like that's not something that parents are teaching their kids. Something that we, in this society, this type of day and age and society now, we know better, right? It's like something we want to help more people to be aware of, or our kids to be aware of, because it's like, look how many stuff's happening in schools nowadays, right? Kids are getting bullied left, right, and center. Or not even schools, work environments, right? There are workplaces that people who are in power are abusing their power over employees, right? Getting taken advantage of. And it's everywhere nowadays. So nowadays we can say, okay, we want more people to be aware of this. But, back in the days, it's not something that I think parents or, even kids in school were even taken in consideration of, oh, this is abuse. It's kind of it became so normal back in the days, where now more people are more aware, more people are trying to bring more attention to it. But no one ever talked to me about abuse when I was younger. So briefly, when I was younger, I witnessed, right? When I was 3 to I think 6, 7, I witnessed my mom and my dad fighting all the time, physically, mentally. It's crazy how much I witnessed abuse throughout I was growing up. And it was to the point where it's I see my mom going to a mental institution. My mom had no idea who her kids were. I witnessed that stuff and how bad abuse can take you to the extent. Not a nervous breakdown. She was strapped in a bed, didn't know who she was, didn't know who her kids were. She went off the rails. That's how bad abuse really can take you to the extent. And I witnessed that. And even though she was to that extent, my dad still took her home. And it's just the abuse happened again. And it's when my mom finally got away, we went to a shelter. So I witnessed being in a shelter, right? And it's just when I look back and I think about how far abuse can take you, is why I'm here to this day doing this video. So when we went from the shelter, obviously where do you go from there? Government housing. So from government housing, living in the projects, you see so much. It's the abuse just begins. It's not, oh, okay, yeah, we're out of it. No, it's okay, what next abuse is there? You know what I mean? So from there, we went to the projects, we lived in the hood, and it's my mom kind of like, I feel like she was abused so much. It's like she broke free. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was just over and over partying. So I lived in a household that all they did was party, drink, party, and party. And obviously with alcohol, then comes like just other things. Alcohol is just like, it's like a door opener, especially if you're like you're living in a household with like alcohol and men coming in and out of the house. Like that's where it kind of stemmed. Okay, I seen abuse happen now in a different way, sexual abuse, right? I seen, men coming in and out of my mom's life. Like it's nothing. Now that stems from, sexual abuse, but in a different way. Because if a man is going to come in your life and like do whatever they feel like it and then walk away, that's a different type of abuse, right? Then I seen the abuse come on to me in a sexual way. I'm a teenager, older men trying to touch me, older men trying to come in my room. That's a different type of abuse. From there, it's kind of like I just wanted to get out of the household. So then I met my ex, right? The father of my daughter. And I thought I was free, like I met somebody. So I thought, okay, I found the jackpot. I found somebody who likes me, who's gonna love me. And I think that a lot of kids, like not just kids, because I was a teenager. I was like 15 turning 16 when I met my ex. And I think it's just like when you go through abuse, it's like you feel unloved. You feel like you're searching for someone to love you, care for you, somebody to be there for you. Because when my dad and my mom broke up, it's like my dad checked out. It was more so both parents were more on, I'm going to do for me, I'm going to do for me. And it's like, where does that leave the kids? You know what I'm trying to say? So it's just like I was constantly like, I feel searching for love, searching for somebody to care for me, searching for somebody to respect me, searching for just attention. So when I found my ex narcissist, I was kind of gave it away there. But when I found my ex, I thought I got the jackpot, right? And it's just like I realized as I started to talk to him, it's just like he was toxic for me. And it's like I found myself getting into a pattern that my mom and my dad were in, right? And before I go into my ex, I just wanted to say I also endured abuse, I would say abuse, not bullying, not abuse, but that's still abuse, bullying in school, because I was about 55 pounds. No, sorry, 55 pounds. I was 200 pounds when I was in high school. And it's crazy. I didn't experience bullying when I was overweight. I experienced bullying when I lost weight. So one summer I lost 55 pounds, went back to school. I'm like, I'm feeling so good about myself. I lost weight, And I went back to school and people bullied me and said, oh, you got liposuction. I'm like, bitch, how the fuck? Sorry for swearing. How can I get liposuction living in the projects? But, so it's just like I got bullied for not being overweight, for looking good. And I'm just like, so you see what I'm saying? There's just different type of abuse. That's what I'm trying to say, is that just different types of abuse that I went through, whether it was at home, whether it was at school, you know what I mean? Whether it was in a relationship. So I'm just trying to express to you guys and share with you guys how much abuse I endured, that abuse doesn't have to just be one way. There can be so many different ways that you experience abuse and you not even think about, oh, I'm experiencing abuse, So I'm in school, high school now, and, girls didn't like me. I had no friends. I had no girlfriends because they would say, she thinks she's the shit, or, just regular high school stuff. Made friends with the football players, made friends with I had all guy friends. Then now it went from my weight to me being a hoe, to me being a slut, to me being this, to me being that. So I'm just saying, there's different ways that people are always going to come at you with their own inner insecurities. And again, that really messes with your mind to make you feel like you're not good enough. No matter what you do, I'm not enough. And I was feeling like that for so long. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that I went through bullying at school. And it's just like, again, that messes with your mindset so much to just seek again outside of you for searching for love. So when I found my ex, I thought, okay, he loves me, he cares for me. Meanwhile, I was talking to him for a year, and then I found, like, he took my virginity, and then I found out he had a girlfriend. And when that happened to me, I was devastated. I felt like there's no one on this earth is gonna love me. No one on this earth is gonna care for me. Like, no matter what I do, whether I'm fat, whether I'm skinny, whether I'm beautiful, whether I'm kind, whether I'm caring, no matter what I do, I just felt like I was constantly searching for love. That everywhere I turned, somebody wanted to abuse me. Whether it was abuse me for my body, whether it abused me for my looks, whether it abused me mentally, emotionally. Like, no matter where I turned, I was getting abused, right? So going forward now, got pregnant at 19, had my daughter with that same person who had a girlfriend. And I share this because there's a meaning to all this. And and I got pregnant at 19 and more abuse came. Oh, you're letting down the family. My mom kicked me out. My dad was taking me to get an abortion. Nobody wanted me to have my daughter. So that comes in another cycle of abuse, a part of my life, that I needed to have an abortion or I'm nothing. And I was lost. My own family, who I thought cared about me, threw me out on the road. I found myself now in a shelter. Wondering what the am I gonna do? And it's crazy how sometimes blood ain't thicker than water. My own teacher picked me up and said, don't worry, we're gonna set you up. Don't have an abortion. I guarantee you'll regret it. If it wasn't for that one teacher inside of my high school, I don't know where the hell I would be. And I ended up having my daughter, and then my ex stepped up. He was there, kind of. And that's when my mom took me back in. But I'm just saying, like, no matter where I turned again, it was abuse. So my ex, when he wanted the baby, but then he was never there. I was like a mom, as a mom, a young teenager, don't know what I'm doing, pregnant, going back home to live with the same people that didn't want me to have my daughter. Like, so anyways, fast forward, had my daughter. My ex stepped up. He said, hey, let's move in. First night that I moved in with my ex, my daughter we had her on the bed. We were sleeping on the bed. First night we moved out, she fell off the bed, and I got the hardest box in my face. And I was like, what the fuck? I just restarted literally everything that my mom went through. That was the beginning. And it's just crazy how it's not our parents' fault, but in a sense, it's just like you can say that you will never turn out like your parents and get yourself into the exact same situation your parents were in. And so I was like, here I am, 21 years old, living with somebody who I thought loved me. That, okay, we have a family now. I'm not gonna be nothing like my mom. I'm not gonna be nothing like my dad. Like, no, I'm gonna make it. And the first night that I moved out with this person, they slapped me in my face. And I cried so much because I thought I never wanted to be like my parents. So just living with him, fighting so hard not to break up my family and not to turn out like my mom and my dad. I endured mental, physical abuse for 18 years of staying with that person, not wanting to leave, watching my daughter hold her head, crying, screaming, And it's just like, it's crazy how, again, you can put yourself, say that you will never turn out like your parents, and then end up with this, living the same abuse or same lifestyle as your parents. And it's like, I fought so hard. People always ask me, why'd you stay for 18 years? You knew he was abusing you. Like, why are you staying? I got asked that question all the time. But something inside of you just, it's like you're traumatized. Because you're just like, I don't want to be like my mom and my dad. I don't want to separate the kids. I want to stay. Like, I'll do everything to fight. But it's like, I ended the relationship. I was the one that ended the relationship. And it was like, you come to a breaking point where you're just like, I can't allow my daughter I can't allow my child to keep seeing this abuse. Like, what am I doing to her? Like, you start to reflect now and say, what did I go through? Like, why do I want to make her go through the same thing? Is it better now to leave and her not be in that abuse no more? Or is it better to stay, have that family unit, but her still see that abuse? Her still seeing her mom get spit in the face, slapped in the face, punched in the face. Like, it's like, what's better? Keeping the family together, or actually saying, no, we're gonna separate. You do better for yourself, I do better for myself. So it's just like, I get why so many like women wanna stay, you know, or men even. As I learned on my journey, it's not just, it's everybody. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman that deal with abuse, right? It's just different types of abuse. It still comes back down to being abused, but it's different ways on how people abuse you. You know what I mean? It could be verbal. You know how many people I have spoke to that don't understand that they don't call it abuse because somebody's not putting their hand on them? No, you're still getting abused because someone's verbally abusing you. And sometimes that's worse because that's mentally messing with your mind to make you feel like you're crazy. And that's the thing, is just like, my ex stopped abusing me physically, I think like 6 years into the relationship, 7 years into the relationship. But he was still abusing me mentally. I didn't know who the hell I was. You tap out. Like, that's what a lot of people don't realize, that you tap out. Like, you don't know who you are no more. You don't know right from wrong. Like, you just know that you don't want to feel this pain anymore. And that's where I was at, and why one day I just said, I can't take it no more. Like, I don't want to feel like this abuse no more and not be able to be the parent that I want to be for my daughter because I'm not mentally there. Because that's the biggest thing that really messes with you enduring abuse, is your mindset, what happens to you mentally. And then from you being so disordered mentally, then affects your health. Like, I was losing my hair. I was losing weight. Like, I had severe anxiety. You know, I used to have, the last time I had an anxiety attack, I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought like I was legit gonna die. And that's where it helped me to understand that this stuff is real. Like, abuse is real, whether it be verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, whatever, abuse is real. Because I always used to look at it as like, nah, he loves me, or this person loves me. They're just, you know, you make excuses inside of your head because you don't want to look at like what's going on inside of you. So 18 years in, I got myself out of it. Here I am today, trying to do my hardest to help people, to educate them on narcissistic abuse, because I was being abused and had no idea that I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship. And I think so many people out there don't know what the hell is even a narcissist, or what is narcissistic abuse. So again, here I am out of that 18 years relationship and learning now how to educate more and more people about narcissistic abuse, because I believe that it's everywhere, because it's either at a workplace, at schools, it could be a freaking teacher, it could be, again, coworker, a boss, It's literally a personality disorder. So I'm trying my hardest now after 18 years to just take my pain, take my trauma to now help other people understand how they can be more educated on narcissistic abuse. So where I'm at in life right now, I feel my biggest focus is this. That's my biggest focus. If I want to be completely honest with the world right now, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with career. It has nothing to do with family members. It has everything to do with my mindset. Because I feel like we are so caught up in society to look at what this person has. Look at the material things. I need a house. Oh, I'm gonna work an hour away so I could save up to buy a cheaper house out of Toronto, or the things that I hear. Like I was so caught up materialistic wise, thinking about, oh, I need to make more money. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a nice car. I want to do this, and I'm constantly thinking about all the things that I need to do outside of me to get all this material things outside of me to make me feel like I'm successful, to make me feel that I'm enough. And I think the biggest thing that I'm working on right now is realizing that ain't none of that shit matter if this ain't right. If this ain't right, ain't none of that shit matter. Like nothing, like you can't be, I'm learning, I can't be a better parent for my child if this ain't right. Like I can have more money. That does not make you a better parent. I can have, a nice house. That doesn't make me a significant human being. I can still be a shitty fucking person and have a big house. I can have a bunch of money and still be messed up mentally and emotionally and not be able to be a good parent to my child, right? Or be a good individual for myself. And I think that after enduring all this fucked up shit inside of life and all this abuse that I went through in life, it's time for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, so many people focus on so much stuff outside of them where ain't none of that shit matter if this ain't right. And so many people are checked out when it comes to this. And it's like the only way that you can live a blissful, happy life is tapping back. So it's just like, I think society makes it seem like you need to be this type of person. You need to have this in order to be successful. You need to have this in order to be healed and all this other stuff. And you just focus so much on what other people are saying, where you need to be at in life, where things need to, we beat ourselves up, not because that's who we are. We beat ourselves up because of what we endured in life, which sometimes majority of the thoughts that we have, majority of the emotions we have are not of us. They're of our parents. That anxiety, that fear, that pressure we put on ourselves, sometimes it's not even of us. It's of our mom. It's of our dad. And it's like it gets embedded and ingrained into us to make us feel like we need to, again, be this type of person or we're not worthy. We're not enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, I came to realize that the most important thing right now is me focusing on my internal being and diving deeper and understanding who is Tracy, truly, without comparing myself to other people. Oh, this girl has a bigger butt than me, or this person's in better shape than me, or this person, my brother or my sister has a house, I don't have a house yet. Oh, I'm not in a relationship, I'm not married, but my ex-narcissist already has a new supply like this. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's just like, we become our own worst enemy. We become our own bully. When we experience abuse, we become our own abusers. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I'm realizing in my life right now is how to overcome and overstand that abuse that I'm doing to my own damn self. Because there's nobody inside of my life right now that is abusing me. But yet I'm abusing myself. Oh, Tracy, you're not good enough. Or Tracy, your body's not good enough. Or you need to lose weight. Or you need to make more money. Or you need to do this. And I just shut the fuck up. Like, I keep abusing myself, and I'm just like, that's the biggest thing that I think that is big in my life right now that I'm mainly focused on. And I could be completely honest, it's not my daughter. Like, parents might, disagree with me, each to its own. You know what I'm saying? But my biggest focus is me. Because you know why I say that? At the end of the day, we are a reflection of our kids. Like, is it the other way around? Our kids are a reflection of us. So if you ain't right, but yet you're telling your kids, don't do that, don't do this, or do this, but what you doing? You're telling your kids not to lie, but then they're lying to Tom, Dick, and Harry, to make yourself look good. Or, on social media, or wherever you're trying to do. But it's just an example. Is at the end of the day, it's like, if my mindset is right, my daughter's mindset's gonna be right. If I'm a good person, my daughter's naturally gonna be a good person. So I think that's the biggest place and where I'm at right now is like, just being a better version of Tracy and understanding who Tracy is. And then from there, sharing with other people my experience and what I've experienced to help more people be awakened of how you can grow, how you can evolve from the abuse, and just be more educated to wise up and rise up inside of your life. Because I found that it was through my knowledge through experience, because how else do you gain knowledge if you don't go through experience? So it was through my experiences, whether they be traumatic, bad, good, whatever, that shit brought me knowledge. So from that knowledge, I'm now implementing it to rise up inside of my life. And again, that's why I'm, my movement is called the Wise Up, Rise Up movement, because I'm helping more people to become wiser of their situation, wiser about life, to say, okay, great, what can I take from Tracy that resonates with me, and then implement it into my life, and then rise up and above in my life, rise above the narcissist, rise above the trauma, rise above the challenges that we face throughout life. And again, like I said, with abuse happening at school, at work, family members, relationship, it all comes back down to, okay, great. Now that you have the knowledge that you've been abused, now that you have the knowledge that maybe this person who is abusing you is a narcissist, what are you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna become a victim and stay a victim? Or are you gonna take the knowledge that you have now and rise up inside of your life? Because it's through, I can honestly say to you guys, through the pain, the trauma, and whatever I've been through is what molded me into this strong woman that I am today, to get on this camera and speak to you guys from the heart, to be like, yeah, I endured all this stuff inside of life, but without it, I don't know who Tracy would be, right? So that's me, that's what what I'm on right now. My movement is just, and I'm doing everything from the heart. This is not, oh, I want to be famous, or, oh, I want a career out of this, or whatever. I'm at a place where in life where I'm like, I don't know who's listening to this, if y'all believe in God. I'm a strong Christian. I believe in God. At the end of the day, I believe that God is leading me in the direction that I need to go, and I'm just letting life be. Letting go. I don't know if you guys heard the saying, letting go and let God. Just letting God direct me in the direction that I need to be, and just really letting go and trusting that what's meant for me will find me. Whether it's me being a voice to all those victims out there that endured certain abuse that I've been through, to be that voice for them, to help them know that, hey, you can wise up and rise up inside of your life, whatever it be. I'm just a vessel here trying to be the best damn version of me by just being me. Honestly, healing, I'm gonna start off by saying this. Healing is a mother journey. It is a journey. Healing is, healing is journey. Healing is not a destination. I say that all the time in all my videos. Healing is a journey. It is not a destination. When my ex-narcissist left me and got his new supply, when I tell you I was broken down to the core, I was broken down to the core. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't want to be on this earth. Like, I wanted to commit suicide so many times. And I just turned to God, and I literally like said, God, like, I want to become a born again Christian. I gave my mind, my body, my soul, everything to God. And I just found myself saying, okay, it's time. It's time to stop being a victim and start looking internally. How can I heal? What can I do to heal? What does healing look like? And this is why my movement's called the Wise Up, Rise Up movement, because it's through these experiences that we experience, which I'm going to say this saying, this motto, whatever you want to call it, saved my life as well, is life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. Every freaking thing that you're going to experience in life, whether it be good, bad, whatever, it's all to teach you valuable lessons, to learn how to grow, how to be a better version of yourself inside, not outside, inside. So it was that really helped me to stop being a victim, stop looking up to the Lord and saying, God, take me. Why me? Why is this happening to me? And I know a lot of people that's listening to this, if you were a victim of abuse, there's one time inside of your life where you felt like, please, God, just take me. Or just, God, please, like, why are you doing this to me? Why am I going through this? Like, what am I doing so freaking wrong to be going through this? And I feel like I want to cry saying it, because it's just like, we have those moments and that's okay, you know? But it's not okay if you stay in that victim mentality and you don't look at it in the light of, like, again, life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. I have no idea how much I can tell you guys how many times I repeat that saying over and over and over and over and over inside of my head, because it's like, words are powerful. What you're saying to yourself, whether it be in your mind, whether it be outside, like if you're constantly using the word hard, something's gonna constantly be hard. But you have to say to yourself, like, what are the words that I'm using? What am I telling myself? And the only way that I was able to, like, flip the script on the way that I think, or flip the script on the words that I'm saying, is I journaled. I journaled a lot. So, like, I would talk to God, and then from God, I would journal. So if you're not a person of God and you're listening to this, then fine, journaling. It's something about getting your emotions and your feelings out on paper. And what that does is it makes you feel like, I'm being heard. Somebody's listening to what's going on in here. And I think, like, it's so important to talk with yourself, because you doing it regardless. Like, regardless or not, you beating yourself up inside your head. So the people out there that saying, oh, I don't talk to myself, bullshit. You talk to yourself every fucking day. Whether that be morning, night, noon, doesn't matter. You doing that shit. And it's like, when I started to talk to myself and writing it out on paper, I got to understand what are the negative talks that I'm saying to myself. What are the stories that I'm creating, because that's what we do, creating inside of my head, that's causing the pain, that's causing the anxiety, that's causing the stress, that's making me feel like I'm not enough, that's making me feel like I'm lacking something within inside of myself for me to feel happy. Because it's the trauma that we're holding on to, whether it be the past, whether it be the present, that somebody did to us. Like, I can't explain to you how much I hated my mom, and I hated my dad, and I hated so many people for hurting me and putting me through this pain. But the next thing is like, writing those feelings down and putting it out on the paper and journaling it will help you to understand where that pain is really stemming from. So journaling just changed my life on everything, to help me to understand what's going on up here and what am I still holding on to that's holding me back from growing, right? So from the journaling, it's like I started to meditate as well. Because from the meditations, whether it be, listen, everybody's perspective on meditating is different. Oh, you need to, quiet your mind, or, oh, you need to focus on the music, breathing. Listen, at the end of the day, I learned this. Ain't nobody need to tell you what you need to do inside of life. You have all the answers within inside self. So whatever resonates and works with you, I learned to let that be. What resonates with you, you'll know, you'll feel it. So I used to be so gung-ho on myself and like how I need to meditate. I'm doing it wrong. I'm this and this. That's why a lot of times people give up and they don't do shit for themselves because they feel like they're doing it wrong. But if you drowned out the noise and how things need to be and you just focus on what you feel is right, then you'll do it. You'll do it with ease. So when I started to look at meditation, I stopped saying it's hard and I just sat with myself and God. I closed my eyes. I said, God, guide my mind, my inner child, guide me on what I need to hear, what things I need to let go. And I just sat with myself in quiet. And I was doing it for 5 minutes. Then it went up to 10. Then it went up to half an hour. Sometimes it would go for 45 minutes, just sitting with myself. And what that did was allowed me to not only spend time with God, but allowed me to like spend time with myself. Because it's like, we're so caught up on the go, 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 go. We don't spend time with ourselves to hear ourselves, to love ourselves. And that time that you spend with yourself helps you to learn who you truly are. And a lot of people are so fucking terrified of who they really are. That's why they don't want to sit by themselves. That's why they don't want to be alone. And that was one of my like anxieties and fears, was being by my motherfucking self. I was so scared to be alone. I always was partying. I was always drinking. I was always smoking, getting high. I never wanted to, I was always around people. My mom used to call me hot foot, because I'm always on the go, 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 go. I always needed to be somewhere. But I'm just like, when I started to spend time with myself, that's where the true healing starts, is spending time with yourself. And yes, it's challenging. I don't like using hard. Don't use hard. Nothing is hard. It's challenging, right? Because it's something that is making you go into the unknown, right? So a lot of us need to know. We need to know everything. And that's ego. It's like our ego needs to know everything. And it's our ego that creates these stories on how things need to be. And when you're so in control over life, nothing is perfect. And when you can understand you ain't controlling shit, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, you ain't controlling nothing. The universe and God is controlling what is meant to be inside of your life. You are just here as a vessel to like learn all the things that the universe or God or whatever wants to teach you, right? So it's just like when I took a step back to embrace that time of being alone, that fear of being alone, that fear of wanting to be with that person who abused you, that fear of like needing to be with somebody else, it literally starts to drift off. And you start to understand now how to love yourself, how to be there and show up for you. Because I love saying this, that ain't nobody in this, like, you came in this world by yourself, you're going out of this world by yourself. Like, it's just a known fact. Like, it's just like, so many people are focused on needing to be in a relationship, needing to be with somebody, needing to be around friends. Like, again, you came in this world by yourself, you're going out of this world by yourself. Like, the only person that can really love you truly and be there for you and heal your trauma, heal your pain on what you endured and what you've been through is you and you alone. Not a psychiatrist, not a mom, not a dad, not a friend, not nobody but you. And the only way that I truly feel people in this world can heal is spending that time with self, getting to know who you are without the noise of your parents, without the noise of the trauma that you've been through. Sitting with self. So journaling, God, meditation, and looking inward to ask myself the right questions. Becoming an alchemist. I don't know if people know out there like what an alchemist is, but like an alchemist is like looking at life in a hindsight of like, again, life is teaching you lessons. Whether somebody fucked you over, somebody cut you off on the road, or, you know, your mom did something to you, whatever it is, good, bad, whatever you've been through, is turning around now and looking inward and say, okay, great. Life is a mirror. Life is mirroring what's going on inside. So if you don't like what's going on inside your life, it's a harsh reality. But like, what are you doing? Like, look inward. If somebody's like lying to you and cheated on you and doing all this stuff like that, like, so what's going on inside you? Why is that happening? That person is only there to teach you something of self. I'm not saying, okay, you're a liar, you're a cheater, but maybe you don't have healthy boundaries. Maybe you don't respect your body. Maybe you don't respect your energy. Maybe you don't respect your time. So again, life is always trying to teach you valuable lessons, but it's like, what are you looking at? Like, are you going to be the victim, or are you going to turn around and be an alchemist and say, okay, great. What can I learn from these people? What can I learn from these lessons inside of life, right? So that's another thing that helps me on my healing journey, is to become an alchemist and stop looking at me being the victim. Stop looking at life keeps happening to me. Stop looking up to the sky and asking God, saying, why me? And start looking at life as life is mirroring what's really going on inside of Tracy. And when I started to change my perspective, because perspective is everything, it all comes back down to you and you alone. When you can change your perspective and how you're viewing your life, your situation, your trauma, your pain, everything changes. And now taking all that and starting to implement it. Because knowledge is power, yes, but if you're not taking that knowledge and implementing it, it's nothing. You just hella smart, but hella dumb at the same time in life. Like, let's be honest, you hella smart because there's some motherfucking book smart people, but inside, they dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, at the end of the day, like, that's what I came to realize. And I swear, if anybody in these comments watching this video or this movie or whatever after tell me I sound like Cardi B, I'm a fucking snap. I ain't no Cardi B, I'm Tracy Gobin. You heard? But yeah, that's how I was on my healing journey. It's just these things that I implemented, and just my whole perspective on life just changed. And that's how I started my healing journey. That's a great question. First off, I'm going to say, fuck advice. Fuck advice. I don't give advice. The reason why I'm going to say this, right, and it's so crazy, we're talking about this because I was just talking to somebody about this in the car, that I don't like to give advice, because when I became a born-again Christian, I believe that nobody can pass judgment. Oh, you guys are going to like this. I learned inside of life, I used to care so much, and I know there's people out there that's watching this that can relate to me. I cared so much on what people thought. I cared what my mom thought. I cared about what my sister thought about me. Like, I cared so, like, because I'm out there on social media. I'm on TikTok, I'm on everywhere, and I'm telling all my business to the whole world. And I got somebody ask me a good question. They said to me, like, how do you feel about that? Like, aren't you scared that your mom or, you know, your ex might see the videos and, you know, be like, why are you telling your business to the world? Or why are you telling my business and all this stuff? Listen, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, because I'm me. God created me just the way that I am. And I get people judge me all the time. But at the end of the day, if you're a true believer in God, right, you got to realize that ain't nobody can judge you except for the Creator. Your mom created you, yes, but she was just a vessel. Your dad created you, yes, but they were just a vessel. The true Creator is God, or the universe, whatever you believe in. But I believe in God, so I'm going to speak out of my heart. God created me. So God is my Father. God is the only person that can pass judgment on me. And I learned that. And it took me quite some time to learn that, to let go of what other people have to say, care, feel. I'm me. I can't be nobody else but me. And I'm proud of that. For such a long time, I didn't even know who I was, because I was so busy trying to be the perfect person for this person that I wanted to see me and love me and care for me. I was so caught up on trying to be a good daughter. Or, you know, like, we get ourselves so caught up on caring, like, or you're on social media and you want likes. You want to be seen. You're in high school. You want to be seen. Like, fuck. All that is like what kills you from you actually being who God created you to be on this earth. Because you're so caught up on caring so much on the noise outside you. But this is why it's so important to be with self. Because it's like when you're by yourself, you get to really hear who you truly are inside and what really matters to you. What matters to me is all that matters. Not what somebody else is going to say about me. Not what somebody else is doing. None of that matters to me. What matters is the here and now moment. Let me leave you guys on with this as well. It's like all you have is this moment. The past is the past. This is not something I'm giving advice on. This is knowledge that I learned. So take what resonates with you and what I'm going to say with this ending and leave what doesn't. Because I'm not trying to give advice. I'm trying to share with y'all what I learned, which is knowledge that you can learn yourself. And I always say to people at the end of the day, because my daughter asked me the other day, right? She said to me, she's just like, oh, mommy, how do you know that this is true? The Bible is true. How do you know that this is true? And I said, we don't know for sure about nothing on this earth. Nothing. Not the books, not what the government says, not nothing, not what our parents say. We don't know what really is. But we do know is our intuition. Your intuition, your inner voice, to me, again, I believe in God. That's God speaking to me. This is why they always say, trust your intuition. Because 99.9% of the times when you listen to your intuition, it's always right. Like when your intuition's telling you, don't go to that club. Don't go to that club. You don't go, club got shot up. Don't take that. Don't take that. You know, your intuition's telling you, don't take that highway. You got cut off. You didn't take that highway. There was a car accident. Intuition, always listen to it. So I learned to say to myself, that's why I'm saying take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. Because you trust your gut, trust your intuition, because all the answers that you seek, everything that you want, everything you desire stems from within yourself. So when you can learn that all the answers is within you, you don't need advice. You don't need nobody to tell you what you should do, what you need to do, what you need to stop doing. Fuck all that, because I know what's right for me. Nobody can be Tracy. Nobody can be you. The only person that can know what's right is you, but you have to trust thyself. If you don't trust yourself, then how can you expect somebody else is going to trust you? How can your own children trust you? Like nobody can trust you because you don't trust yourself. How can you be the best parent that you want to be, or the best girlfriend, or boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever? You can't be best of nothing unless you trust yourself and until you listen to yourself. And it's just known facts. So what I'm saying to you is not advice. It's just, it is what it is, you know? So I always tell people, you know, whether I'm talking on social media, whether I have a coaching call or whatever, I say, I'm not trying to give you no advice. I'm just sharing with you what I've learned, what I've experienced. And I always say, don't listen to me. Take what resonates with you, trust your intuition, trust your inner voice, and your inner voice will tell you, you know what, that's right. Or your inner voice would say, she's talking beer shit out her ass. Like, you'll always know, but you gotta trust you. You gotta listen to yourself. You can hear things. Knowledge is power. But it's like, what are you gonna do with it that resonates with you? Not listen to what other people have to say, right? So I learned that ain't nobody in this world can judge me except for God up above. So I don't give a what other people have to say about me, what their opinions are. Like, but if they're gonna give advice or they're gonna say something, I listen, but I take what resonates with me and I leave what doesn't. So I tell everybody, like, I'm not on this earth to give advice. I'm here to share my experience with the world. And then through my experience with the world, then somebody else can say, okay, great, I've experienced that too. Maybe I can learn a couple things, what resonates with me, and leave what doesn't. So my whole goal is to help people to understand, trust yourself. Don't listen to what your friend has to say. Don't listen to what your mom has to say. Don't listen to what anybody else, the government has to say. Listen to thyself, because all the answers that you seek is within inside of yourself. So that's what I learned, is just trust my intuition. And That's how I can help more people, is speaking my truth and saying to people, to help people to understand, to listen to their truth inside themselves. Because again, if somebody is giving you advice and telling you what to do, that's them judging you. You don't want somebody to judge you when you want to do something, but then it's okay for them to judge you when you want advice. Think about that. So if you don't want someone to judge you inside of life, don't go seeking for it. Go inward. Ask yourself the right questions. You know how much money you'll be saving if you just listen to your damn intuition? Like, so many people seek, for therapy, or each to its own. But I'm telling you right now, I never went through one therapy session. Not all the fucked up shit I've been through in life, not one therapy session. You know what my therapist is? God. All the questions that you seek and you desire and you want is within you. So that's all I can really say, is for people out there that's experienced abuse, people that is experienced narcissistic abuse. Educate yourself, gain the knowledge of your experience. Listen to what's going on within self. Listen to understanding what that person who came inside of your life to teach you. Because everybody that I've experienced inside of my life that has abused me, I thank them, because they teach me something about self that I can take now and be a better version of myself for my daughter, and be a better version of myself for now. On my TikTok, I have like 10,000 followers. Like, I can imagine that. I'm being a better version of myself to 10,000 people. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, at the end of the day, it's not about the other person. It's not about other people. It always comes back down to self. It always comes back down to me. I don't know whoever's listening to this, I don't know what it is that you've been through or what you're going through, but it's always going to be about you. They're God's greatest creation. I always tell people in all my videos, you're a king. You're a man, you're listening to this, you were born a king. If you're a woman, you were born a queen. But we need to tap in to that king and queen self within ourselves. Like, we just need to tap into it. And then from there, we'll have everything that we desire, we want more. And when I leave off as this, I learned as well that life is love. You are love. You share your love with the world. You don't get love. You share love. So for anybody who's listening to this, if you experienced abuse, mentally, emotionally, whatever type of abuse you realize, it really detaches you from understanding who you truly are, which is love. No matter what darkness you've been through, love is within you. If somebody didn't give you love, your mom, your dad, your friends, people that you thought were on this earth to love you, if they didn't give it to you, that's okay. Because guess what? Somebody can't take away, somebody can't give you something that you already always had, because you were born with it. And there's nobody that can take away that from you. So that's what I want to leave off with, you guys, is, you're love, you're king, you're queen, whoever is listening to this, you're God's grace creation. And I hope that, this clip of me sharing whatever I shared with you guys helps inspire you guys and uplift you guys in some sort of way to just tap in to the God-given, beautiful human being that you are. And that's like all I have.